This is the Aston Martin Db12 Volante, and it's a little bit like Big Ben. You see, it looks very similar to what it did before on the outside when it was the DB11. However, underneath the skin, it's been thoroughly modernised. Did you know that Big Ben now has a lift in it and like LED lighting and all that kind of stuff? Anyway, what I'm going to do is tell you what's new about this car by talking you around the exterior, sort of like floating, showing you the interior. They've thought about the British customer too. Trying out its technology and just get you to turn on. Tell you what's good about it. What's not so good about it. Let me out. Let me out. I'm also going to take it for a drive. Total bonkers back crazy. And I'm going to launch it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Forgot my name. I'm Matt Watson and you're watching Car Wow. Get with it. Let me talk you around the design of this DB12. So visually at the rear, it's very similar to the DB11. They've tried to keep the design the same, though actually the body is about 20 millimeters wider. You can see it's nice and wide here at the back. The track is 50 millimeters wider. I wish they'd made these wider though. Look, the exhaust about the same as before. Could do with a little bit more volume to them. Moving down the side, oh, before we move down the side, I do like the shape of the lights. Look so cool, don't they? Anyway, moving down the side, got some new alloy wheel designs and wheel sizes are all 21 inches. Car comes on new Michelin Pilot Sport 5S tyres. They've been specifically developed for this car. This is something I want to show you. We need the key, please. Just bear with me. So in the past, you'd have to push the door handle like that to open it, but now, I didn't know it was in there. Now, look, you can get it with poppy outies. So when I unlock it, that pops out. Though I do still think this design, the way you hold on to it, just isn't as easy to use as a normal handle like that. Okay, I love the way the side skirts just swoop out and part of the body. And this is something that's new. Overall, the car's body may be 20 millimeters wider, but from door mirror to door mirror, which is the widest part, it's exactly the same as the DB11. Reason being, come around here and look at this. You have smaller door mirrors because they're now frameless. And this whole unit moves when you want to alter the angle of the door mirror. Looks nice, that does. Now here, the whole design is new compared to the DB11. Before, the car had a clamshell bonnet, but now they've done it in various segments. One advantage of that is that if you have a bit of a prank, you haven't written off an entirely massive big piece of bodywork. You can replace bits and pieces. Now there are little vents in here to help let air out from the wheel well. You've got air vents down there to smooth airflow down the side of the vehicle. Massive brakes, and you can upgrade to carbon ceramics, of course. Here at the front, there's some more breathers down under there to help smooth the airflow. You've got matrix LED headlights with the new Aston Martin headlight design, liking those. I really like this part of the car as well with the grille, the way it's sort of like floating. Then you've got this lower part of the bumper. You might be wondering what the heck that nasty bit of black plastic is. That's for the auto cruise, it's the radar system in there. Unfortunately, you can't paint it, so it's a bit obtrusive. The trade-off is though, you do get auto cruise control on this car, which is nice and handy if you're doing longer journeys. After all, it's supposed to be a GT, although Aston now like to call it a sports GT, so it's just a little bit more fun to drive than a standard GT apparently. This Aston Martin Db12 Volante starts from £205,000. Now this interior, you might not think it, but it is pretty much completely standard. It's what you get at that starting price. The only options that I have on the inside here, the upgraded stereo, and I've got the cooled function on the seats. You get things like heated seats as standard, you get auto cruise as standard, lots of kit as standard, but there's nothing standard about the way this thing feels on the inside. The leather is lovely, the design, it's just, oh, it's so bespoke feeling. Love these aluminium panels in here, aluminium here as well. So cool. And most of the things you touch, like the switches, just have a solid, expensive metal feel to them like that. That's the drive mode selector. You've got actual physical buttons, or shall I say rollers, for the ventilation system, so that's your temperature. Once again, nice weighty metal feel to it. You've got your fan there, your temperature there for the passenger, volume for the stereo. It's all very nice. There's just a few bits and pieces that don't feel quite as exquisite, like this indicator stalk there. That's very Mercedes-like, and the heater vents, bit plasticky. especially when you compare them to the heater vents that you get in a Bentley Continental GT. But other than that, oh my gosh, like just the stitching on the seats. I love the colour of this interior. There's like 25 different colour choices on the configurator, but with Aston Martin's Q, you can pretty much have whatever colour you want. And I love these seats. They're amazing. Oh, just so comfy, and they look great, especially with the roof down, sun shining on this real nice light interior trim. So this car, it has a new infotainment system for Aston Martin. The old system was like some hand-me-down from Mercedes from back in the day. This one is much nicer, high definition screen. If I can just get you to turn on. Turn on! It was on a minute ago, but now I'm filming it, it doesn't want to be on. Oh, there we go. So this is connected to Apple CarPlay. You've also got Android Auto as well. I could go into the menus for the actual system for Aston Martin, but you're not going to use those, you're going to use your phone. Doesn't have wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but if you buy the car, you'll be able to get an update so it goes wireless in future, like the later models will. Oh, look, storage. You've got some cup holders here, and you have some storage under here, 2 USB-Cs, old school 12-volt socket. Underneath here, look, follow my hand. That's your wireless charging pad for your mobile phone. We have a incy-wincy tiny glove box. There we go, it's pretty small, isn't it? But you could fit some gloves in there, which is really all you need, I guess. You have absolutely glorious, expensive feeling sun visors. It's like bespoke luggage. Nice vanity mirror as well. It's just a shame there's no light for it. The rear view mirror, like the side mirrors, they're frameless, so great visibility out of that. And yeah, this is a bit of a problem though. The door bins are quite small and shallow, so things will probably drop out of there. You can put a lot of stuff in there, but there's not room for a big bottle. Does that really matter in a car like this? Maybe not. In terms of the seating position, yeah, it's really nice. You can tell this is a car that's been built in England because the seating position is perfect. It hasn't been set up left-hand drive. They've thought about the British customer too. And of course, you have an electrically operated steering wheel. And the controls for the seats, if you just give me that, I'll show you where they are. Otherwise you won't see it. So that's how you control the seat, just down here. And you've got lumbar support on that one, and you can switch between higher and lower lumbarage. Now wish me luck, because I'm going to test out the back seats, because this is a 2+2. So let me get into my ideal driving position. That's about right. This could be awkward. I almost think that the rear seats are more for show, because they do look great. I love the back of them. This is just a nice design. Let's see if I can fit in them though. Right. Oh. Come on. Don't break my legs. Nah, see, knew it was pinching me. Rory, yes. Would you mind just climbing in the car and trying to get yourself comfortable? How tall are you? 6'1",
6'2".
6'1", so quite a large lad. Go on, climb in.
More ways than it.
Now, if you were to give me a lift back from the pub, get to a position you can drive.
There we are.
Let's try side saddle. No, that doesn't work either.
No, I'm going to have to go back a bit, sorry.
Okay.
Right, that's it. Probably I can then climb that.
Are you alright to drive with my foot there like that?
It's not the best smelling, but it's fine.
Actually, that's not workable. Let's try again.
Let's jump out.
No, just stay like that. So, very short journey. Kids, probably. But I do want to show you this. Look, you've got Isofix anchor points. Where are they? I know you're there. There, Isofix. Yay. Now you could fit a little booster seat in there. I don't think you're going to be able to fit a huge rear facing seat in the back though, not with someone sat in front. You'd have to push the chair forward. I can't even plug this in. I'll just hold on to it. I'm sure it'll all be fine. It's always important for a car such as this to be able to carry a set of golf clubs. Oh, that's annoying. There's no boot release here. You have to do it either from in here or on the key. Open. Right, try again. Do you reckon you could fit a set of golf clubs in here? I don't think so, not with a driver. There's no way. There's no way, especially when you've got, this is a wind deflector, you have to take that out. This, well, this is into space when you have the roof down. You can push it up when you've got it up. Shall we put the roof up? Yeah. Let's put the roof up. And we'll see how the boot will be slightly bigger once the roof is up. Let's see how quickly and efficiently we can do this. Let's time it. Go on, start the clock. Go. So I'm timing it. nice mechanism. And the back windows. Oh no. I think he panicked and pressed the button twice. Anyway, for the roof to go up, if it had done it properly, it's just over 15 seconds. Now let's have a look at that boot again. Oh, I've got to go and release it. See, I told you it's annoying. Okay, where are you? There we go. Now, with any luck, I should be able to push this up, look. There we go, so the boot is a bit bigger. Let's see if it's big enough for a man. If it's big enough for a man, I'll forgive it. I've not been able to fit some golf clubs. Go on, Lewis, give it your best shot. And when I tap, you need to release me. I can't even move to tap. Oh, I tell you what, the carpet's nice in here. Let me out. Release me. Let me out. Just you had to go all the way around. I forgot to let me out. And there we go. Some really extensive, useful consumer testing of the new Db12's practicality. Oh, anyway, that brings on to 5 annoying things about this car. This black plastic trim here scratches really badly. Have a look at this. The car's only done about 1,600 miles. Now you could put PPF over that, but I wonder if you're ever going to be able to open and close this again, because there's not much of a gap there. If you put film on it, it'll probably snag or gather up, which wouldn't be ideal. The reversing camera's really low to the ground. That's going to get covered in grime pretty soon, and it doesn't have a wash facility like you get with many other cars. Here's what a wash facility looks like and does. Woo! So with this one, you're going to have to get out and lick your thumb and go out to clean it, which isn't very £205,000 worth. You get quite a few reflections on the new digital dash. Now the definition's a lot better than before, but I just do wonder that it could be a bit annoying in certain direct sunlight. Also, if you look at this, the system isn't the fastest. Can you see? Like, it's a little bit slow to respond. And I don't like this button when you have to scroll down and it's touch sensitive. And I think I find that when I'm driving it occasionally, if you hold the wheel like that, you might accidentally press the buttons with the pad of your thumb there, like that. See? As part of the upgraded Bowers & Wilkins stereo, you get this lovely speaker here with this nice metal grille. Unfortunately, it's right where your elbows go if you're in the back seat. Can you see all this? It's been dented to absolute buggery. That's a shame. The interior of this car is hand stitched, and we can see a little bit of human error in places, so that's a bit wibbly wobbly. But this part, this stitching here, is really quite on the piss. That would do my OCD in quite a lot. For some reason, Aston Martin hasn't fitted individual switches for the back windows. Obviously you have them for the front windows like this, look. Yeah. And this is the other one. I don't know why I'm proving this, it's pretty blooming obvious, right? However, to operate the rear windows, you have to use the roof switch. So you put it towards you like that, and then it'll allow all windows. And then to put them back up again, you do that. But if I want the rears down on their own, how do I do the rears on their own? Oh, why has that gone and stayed down there? What's going on with this? What? Is this random? Is the methodology to this? What? Why couldn't I just have had some individual switches? Then it would all work as I want it to. Now I put these windows up and I can have those backs back down. Yeah, but what happens if I want that one up and that one down? Can I? Did it read my mind, or is it just broken? I don't know. Can I do this one down on its own? Read my mind, car. I want this one down on its own. Just... What? I have no idea what's going on. Let's move on to 5 good things about this car. Even though the DB12 is based on the DB11, about 80% of the parts are new. This car's also stiffer. For instance, it's got this new brace bar across the front shock towers. This means between the 2 shock towers, the stiffness has increased over the DB11 by 130%. There's other bracing panels at the rear of the car as well, which help increase the stiffness over the rear shock towers by 40%. Car's been fitted with some new adaptive dampers. Unlike the adaptive dampers on the previous car, the DB11, they are so much more adjustable. So there's about 500% difference in adjustability compared to the old car. That should give you a broader range of capability, which I'll find out about when I drive it. If you've got a small baby and you need to carry them in one of those big bulky rear facing seats, don't worry, you can get Isofix anchor points here in the front seat as well. Plenty of space here for one of those carriers. Also, you can upgrade the back seats to have a lovely wood finish on the back. So nice. Plus, there's another 2 options of seat. There is a sport seat, which is more body hugging with slightly bigger side bolsters, and a rather glorious carbon fibre seat as well. I love the fuel filler cap on this car, not because it's anodised aluminium or anything flash like that, it's because it actually doesn't have one. It's useful, you can just slot the fuel nozzle straight in, no messing about. I know you have that on a Ford Focus, but it's handy on a car such as this, which you might have to fill up quite a lot. This car has 5 different driving modes. There's GT, Sport, Sport Plus, and as you move through those, the settings for the steering, the throttle response, the gearbox, the exhaust noise, and so on and so forth gets more and more aggressive. Dampers as well get stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. However, there's also an individual mode where you can set it up just as you want and mix and match the settings. Plus, for the first time, Aston Martin has added a wet mode where everything's dialed back, nice, safe and secure. And it has the ESP in its most cautious setting. Speaking of which, they have a new ESP system fitted to this car. So it'll do things like measure steering angle, throttle position, how you're driving, your slip angles, all that kind of stuff. And it has a special sensor in the middle, and it can work out whether you've got the skills or not, and it will dial back or implement the ESP as necessary, depending on what it thinks you're going to do and what you're capable of. Now, because you've got that wet mode, they've been able to actually widen the envelope for the ESP. So when you're just in normal mode, it will give you some slip. Go into Sport Plus or track mode, and then it will give you a little bit more slip so you can have even more fun. You can even turn it all the way off and then alter the amount of traction control, so how much the wheels will spin, going from 1, which is the safest setting, to all the way off just by turning the dial. And that works in conjunction with the new electronically controlled limited slip differential on the rear axle to help give you some pretty epic slides. Unfortunately, I can't do any donuts on this surface because I'll end up firing stones everywhere. Let's have a listen to this engine. Start it up. Oh, it's spitting water. More. Wow. So we have a bit of a soft limiter, but I'm going to forgive it because that sounds awesome. Can we have some more? More. I love the way it's unpredictable as well, so it makes you just want to do it some more to see if you can make it happen. Nice. Power comes from a 4-litre twin-turbo V8. Wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to have 2 Snells. I can only see 1 here. Anyway, it's made by Mercedes-AMG, and in this particular car, it puts out 680 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque, and it drives the rear wheels by an 8-speed automatic gearbox. I really like this feature, right? So, air comes in there, comes to this little vent here, goes through here, then that blows out over the turbos to keep them cool. Those are the air intakes there, and the air is sucked in either side, so you get like this ramp air effect at high speed. Speaking of which, top speed of this vehicle with the roof down, 202 miles an hour. 0 to 60? Well, that's supposed to take 3.6 seconds. We'll find out if I can do that on a day like today with all that power and rear wheel drive and a slightly greasy road. What could go wrong? A car such as this has to fulfill 3 main roles. It's got to be good for putting a smile on your face when you get to a twisty road. It's got to be able to just soak up the miles in comfort as you cross continents. But it's also got to be good at just bimbling around town as you go from boutique to boutique or from winery to winery. So can it cope with that? Bearing in mind that Aston Martin have tried to make this car more sporty than the DB11. Part of its ability to have such a wide breadth are those new dampers. So I've got it in its comfiest setting, and while it feels taut and sporty, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It feels expensive, refined and purposeful, but not annoying. What could be annoying is if you couldn't see out of it like a Lamborghini, but you absolutely can. Visibility is great. Turning circles like 12.4 meters. Got surround cameras, they're up, so I can see if I can get around without scratching my alloy wheels. Now, I've got the steering in its sportiest setting, but it's not overly heavy. The gearbox is easy to switch between forward and reverse. These cameras are really nice and clear. The door mirrors are big, so it's surprisingly easy to just maneuver, even though I've got the longest bonnet in the world. It's no problem at all. So it's stress-free for just driving around little country villages as you enjoy your Sunday out. And one of the things that I'm noticing with it as well, sometimes in convertible cars, when you go over bumps or potholes, the steering wheel can shake, and that's because their bodies are a little bit kind of wobbly because you've chopped off the roof and reduced their rigidity. But this one, hardly getting any movement through the steering wheel at all when I go over these bumps. It feels really solid, really expensive. Gearbox helps, really smooth. And the brakes, so they're nicely assisted actually. They're not like you have to really prod them hard, but they don't feel squidgy either. So they're responsive and firm at the same time. That's nice. One of the things that is a little bit annoying, as with all modern cars, you have safety systems that default to being on. So when you want to toggle them, you then go into this system here and go into assistance. But you'll probably notice just down here, the buttons are quite small that you use to press, and it's all very dark and the font's small. So when you're doing things like, oh, I need to go into speed limit, audio warning off, I want that off, you are spending a lot of time like staring at the screen. That could do with having larger font, being brighter. Yeah, so that's not ideal because it does just default to on, as with every car. I think we just need a physical button to just go on, off for those kind of settings. One thing that is much easier to do though is change driving mode. That's pretty simple. It feels so satisfying when you do it. So let's go into GT mode. So this is your normal cruise mode. So it's slackened things off. So my throttle response, steering weight. So this is utter chill mode for when you're just cruising about. Now I'm in cruise mode. What I'm going to do is just check out the response of the engine and the gearbox when they're in their least sporty setting. Just, you know, when you need to put your foot down, see how well the car responds. Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, flooring it now. Bit of a delay. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to do the same thing again, but with the car in the sportier setting. So I want to check the response now. 3, 2, 1, flooring it now. Oh wow. Frickin' hell. There's a completely different response in kickdown. It like kicks down an extra gear when you're in the sportier setting. So rather than it just being a delay and stuff, it really does try and make it just smoother, more relaxed, and total bonkers back crazy when you have it in the sportier setting. I'm noticing the difference in the suspension now though, because I've got it in Sport Plus and it seems quite firm. So I'm going to go back into individual where everything is in maximum attack, but I've got suspension in relaxed. Now let's find out if the chassis matches up to that engine. So let's go manual. There we go. Blimey, so quick. So this is surprising. The nose on this is really, really direct, so responsive. And this bit's quite bumpy, and I'm not getting maybe a slight whiff of jiggle in the steering wheel, but this feels so taut. It doesn't handle quite the way you think it will based on what it looks like and what it feels like here on the inside. You know, it feels like a luxury car. It looks quite gentlemanly and civilized on the outside. Elegant, beautiful, handsome, but drives like a nutcase. It's almost like those students that go to Eton. You think they're all sensible, like that, but my God, they can party at the weekend. And this, on a twisty road, is a bit of a party. It feels absolutely on it. The traction as well. Those Michelin tyres are mega. Loads of grip. Wow. I'm really quite surprised by how this thing handles. This convertible is actually over 100 kilos heavier than the coupe because of the roof mechanism, but still, doesn't feel ponderous at all. That was so much fun. I'm going to do it again. Here we go. I'd have expected it to be like sending itself sideways when I did that. The grip is incredible. Don't know if that's the new stability control system or those tyres or both, or the added stiffness of the chassis, the new suspension, but my God, this is a nut job. Really, really compliments the engine. Get so much confidence out of it. This is a world apart to the DB11. Wow. If there is one thing I would change, I'd like a slightly daintier steering wheel. It's a bit too BMW in its girth. I like a more delicate rim. Now let's find out just how quick this car really is. 0 to 60 is supposed to take 3.6 seconds. Let's see what we can do. Race start. That's hooked, that has. Bang on the money, 3.6 seconds. Lie? They do not. Traction is amazing. Thought it like spin up its wheels. This just boom, went. Wow. Right, let's see how long it takes to stop from 60 miles an hour. So 3, 2, 1, now. How many meters? Be less than 35. Whoa, that's good. 31 meters. It goes well and it stops well. Just one last thing. Let's put the roof up. Oh. Yeah, the back window with the roof up is nowhere near as good. It's quite limited. It feels more claustrophobic. Well, obviously. I'm not so sure about this bit that kind of comes down. That's a bit like too close to you. Not so sure about that. To be fair, unless it's raining, I'm driving this thing with the roof down, and so should you. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Aston Martin Volante? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist it. It looks lovely, it feels luxurious inside, it's massively improved, it's got monumental performance, and it's surprisingly sporty to drive as well for a GT. Sorry, not a GT, it's a GT sports car. Anyway, yeah, it's nice. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of my verdict in the comments below. Click on the windows for some more videos and on the CarWow logo to sell your car the easy way.